this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Well, I just have one question. Is Black MAGA still celebrating? And if they are, what the hell are they celebrating? So here's what's going on now. People are doing videos about Donald Trump bringing back segregation. The Trump administration is no longer requiring an explicit prohibition of segregated facilities in new government contracts. The February 15th memo from the U.S. General Services Administration, GSA, was first reported by NPR Tuesday. Segregation is still illegal in the United States, and the memo states contractors are still subject to laws on civil rights and non-discrimination. But the directive from the GSA, which manages federal property and sources contracting options for other agencies, came in response to one of President Donald Trump's executive orders aimed at rolling back diversity, equity, and inclusion in the federal government. Here is what to know about the order. Along with other programs Trump considered under the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Accessibility umbrella, the order revoked the 1965 Equal Employment Opportunity Executive Order signed by former President Lyndon B. Johnson. Johnson's order required government contracts to include non discrimination language. In its place, as the memo lays out, contracts do not include provisions including prohibition of segregated facilities, which includes restrooms, drinking fountains, and transportation. Well, it seems like somebody overplayed their hand because they were going to show the Democrats by not voting or voting for Trump. And we've been hearing Trump, Trump, Trump. And the Democrats didn't do nothing for black people. And the Democrats didn't do this. And I guess, we were supposed to get reparations by not voting for the Democrats, although 92% of black women did. And it turns out when all the votes are in, 81% of black men did. But the crowd that didn't vote for the Democrats has been running victory laps. They showed those Democrats. They showed those Democrats. Although many of them said they didn't even vote. So I guess they showed them. However, the Democrats have made something of a half-hearted effort to address the reparations issue that black Americans keep talking about. So they sent Ayanna Presley out to talk about a reparations bill. So I guess the Democrats are going to do what they always do. They're going to form a task force to study reparations. Well, the Republicans hit back immediately. Reparations fight hits Congress as GOP looks to defund new DC task force. So the Republicans are immediately in fight mode. We're going to fight anything that comes up called reparations. Even if it's just a phony task force, we're still going to fight it. We're going to make sure that it gets no traction. So there you go. So I don't really know where that gets black people. I don't know who's the smart guy here. So you didn't vote for the Democrat, and the Democrat lost. You mocked Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party, criticized everything about the Democratic Party, and you voted for Donald Trump. And now he's talking about bringing back Jim Crow policies. So did we win or did we lose? Some people didn't care who won, and those are the people who really won. The ones that didn't care one way or the other. I didn't want Donald Trump to win, and I will admit that I do like the whole thing about getting a handle on this immigration, on people walking up in here. Nobody knows who they are, where they came from, and what they're doing here. So I do believe that America should have done something about these illegal immigrants. But this whole thing with Donald Trump It's concerning, but I think that we just have to wait it out, like we said we were going to do, because there's nothing you can do about it now. I want to know if these people who were so in favor of Donald Trump have some kind of strategy for trying to deal with him. Do they have any kind of access to the White House to see how this is going to affect black people? And anybody who thinks that just because they're Republican or just because they supported Donald Trump, that you're going to escape the wrath of these Republicans, you're wrong. You're going to be in the same boat as these illegal immigrants who voted for Trump, who thought that somehow they weren't going to be deported because they voted for him. You are wrong. If you are a black person in the United States, it does not matter whether you're a Republican or a Democrat when it comes to what Donald Trump is doing. Colin Powell is a good case in point. Colin Powell was a Republican. President Reagan appointed him to be the National Security Advisor. The first President Bush appointed him to be the first black chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The second President Bush made him the Secretary of State. Well, a few days ago, Donald Trump had his name removed from the list of notable Americans buried at Arlington National Cemetery. This was a war hero. He was a general. He was a national security advisor, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and Secretary of State. That's not worthy of being mentioned as a notable person buried at Arlington National Cemetery. He did the same thing for Jackie Robinson, who was the first black person to play Major League Baseball. But Jackie Robinson had also been in the military. He wasn't worthy of being mentioned. They had scrubbed the Tuskegee Airmen from instruction of videos during the World War II era, but pressure was put on them to put the Tuskegee Airmen back in that instructional manual. So anybody black can be stripped of their accomplishments by this administration. So I hope these black people who voted for Donald Trump or who thought it was a good idea for Kamala not to be the president, I hope they're celebrating. I hope they're happy with the results that they have helped to bring about, because we don't know where this is going to end before it's over. I'm not going to obsess over it. I didn't want him to be the president. If I have a chance to vote against him again, I will definitely do that. Or anybody who represents his ideology, I will happily vote against that person. But for right now, we have to do what we've always done: hunker down and get through it. And everybody says America is going down. And we know that it is, because every great empire does. But I'm just here to say I'm not going to help somebody like Donald Trump get elected president. I'm not going to help it go down, not if it means voting for Trump. So, and I'm going to say this, and it's a cautionary tale for especially these black men who hated Kamala and who hate black women. They came for affirmative action and got it. They came for DEI and got it. They came for abortion and got it. The next thing they're going to come for, and I don't know how long it's going to take, but they're going to come for interracial marriage, because they want these white women back in the house with white men, being bossed around by white men and having babies. So maybe this will be something that black men, these Black MAGA people, because a lot of them are into that, you might want to start sharpening your skills, because that's probably what you'll fight for. And that fight is going to come before it's over. If they get away with all this other stuff, you can bet your bottom dollar they are coming for interracial marriage between white women and other races of men. So I would be willing to put at least my cable bill on that. Anyway, y'all, let's hope that the MAGA people are proud of the choice that they made. And I'm talking about the black ones, because I know white folks are coming here trying to present as black. But I'm talking about the actual black people. I hope you're satisfied with your choice, and I hope you're still celebrating, because it seems like we've got a rough road ahead. Okay, y'all, let me know what you think about this. Thank you for listening. Give me a thumbs up and have a good evening.